Hi, Alex Kais here, artist and realtor. Since the stay-home order is set to gradually relax in Seattle, I wanted to take a moment to talk about the future of real estate in post-pandemic world. And hopefully it is post-pandemic by the time you're watching this video. My friend Christy is selling her condo across the street from the market, so I thought I'd stop by and pick up some flowers before checking it out. If you want to skip right to the data and not have a look at a cool market loft, you can scrub right to this point in the video. I have some graphs prepared for you, but first I want to take a moment to talk about the new normal of real estate. Most of you probably don't care all that much about how us realtors do our job. You need a home, and I'm here to make that process as painless as possible. But the world's changing. Spoiler alert, in case you're worried, the market's doing just fine, and it looks like it survived a pandemic. But it is fundamentally different, and we're going to see a lot of changes throughout the rest of 2020. You see, the real estate industry has historically been really slow to adopt new technology. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this, but a large part is that this industry is really highly regulated and change is actually pretty difficult. I was gonna get some seltzer water, but it's all empty. Federal laws control financing and advertising to stop discrimination. Industry groups are constantly lobbying to protect job security, and the MLS is an all-knowing force that controls just about everything. A lot of these regulations are great. Have you heard of redlining? It's the awful systematic denial of services based on neighborhood, like getting a mortgage on a house. In 1960, 90% of the black population in Seattle was segregated to the Central District using redlining. As a licensed realtor, I have to follow all of these rules and regulations, even when just producing videos for YouTube. For example, when I wanted to use my logo, I had to apply for various licenses and trade names and go through all of these hoops in order just to use my own branding. Okay, it's not that interesting, but it was tedious. It used to be really difficult for normal people to find a house, and a realtor was a must. The local MLS would publish books and mail them out to brokerages, and these were the only place that you could find comprehensive lists of all the homes for sale. But then Zillow came along and offered an alternative. They're not technically part of the MLS, so they're free from following a lot of these restrictions. And now you can spend the whole day on your couch by yourself, on your phone, researching all the homes in your neighborhood. This tech company upended the industry, and we're still trying to catch up in a lot of ways. Similarly, this stay-at-home order has forced innovation. It's only been about a month, but now most listings have 3D tours, video has become essential, virtual staging is pretty common, and the MLS is even advertising open houses on Facebook Live. All of this is going to affect the market. How realtors advertise their listings with more digital access could make things move a lot faster than they already have. Likewise, more physical restrictions make it a lot harder to get into prospective homes, and the market could slow down a little bit. In order to get through the door at this condo, you need a proof of funds, a pre-approval letter, and an appointment set up beforehand. This helps restrict who's actually coming into the home to only serious buyers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the year and what new technology is going to be leveraged to make this whole process a little bit easier. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe down below. Now, I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to go back to the office and get some graphs ready to go so that we can go over some of the data. In the meantime, have a look at this condo. It's pretty cool. So, how's the market? Let's look at some data to find out. You would have thought the market would tank with everyone stuck at home, but it didn't. In this listings versus sales graph, we can have a look at supply and demand. There was a lot of news about listings coming off the market, but we actually saw an increase in active homes for sale during quarantine. And sure, sales dropped a little bit, but they didn't drop all that much. You can see that the same number of homes sold in April as in December of last year. We're starting to see a healthier level of inventory out there these days. Buyers slowed down a little bit and more listings came to market, which pushed this months of inventory metric to just under 2 months. This means if no new homes came on the market, our current inventory would run out in 2 months. I always find this a pretty good place to be fluctuating around. When it gets closer to 1 month, like it did right down here, then things start to move too fast. Buyers get stressed and overpay, mistakes are made, and everyone's just struck with pandemonium. Remember, I like to get a comprehensive look at housing by combining single-family homes and condos here. So when we look at the median sales price of homes in Seattle, they've gone up pretty significantly in the past 2 months, from $660,000 in February to $730,000 in April. I'm getting the house ready for market, and in the last 2 months that it took to get the house ready, it increased in value by about $25,000. This is probably the most dramatic graph I have for you today. Look at how the list price to sales price ratio was climbing leading up to quarantine, like a rocket. In January, homes were going for about 99% of list price, and in March, it almost hit 103%. Thankfully, it's starting to drop, but with Seattle slowly opening up again, it can always go back up. Sellers will enjoy favorable condition when selling their home, and buyers will see stiff competition but low interest rates. So, if you're thinking about making a home in Seattle, send me a message and we'll chat about how to get started. Bye.